Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Going the Distance. This is episode 88. Can you believe we've done 88 episodes? I can't, but I want to welcome the new members who are just joining me for the first time, and I want to welcome back the members who've been joining me from the beginning. Your support is greatly appreciated. So before we get started, hit that thumbs up button and like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode when I post a video, a short, or do a post. So we got a lot to get into today. We've got some football news to get into. I've got some UFC news. I've got some preseason Week 1 scores and Week 2 predictions. I'm going to give you my top 5 NFL quarterbacks to start the 2025 season. We've got some golf news and scores, and as always, we've got the What We're Listening To segment. So let's jump right into it. So first, let's talk about Jon Gruden. Well, yesterday, he won a Nevada Supreme Court case saying that he could sue the NFL. And I know that sounds bad. I know, sports channel, NFL channel, why are you talking about suing the NFL? Well, I think Jon Gruden has the right to sue the NFL this time, as always. And he's not just suing the NFL, he's suing Roger Goodell for wrongful termination and all. So, if you guys don't know, back in October of 2021, the NFL investigated Jon Gruden and then fired Jon mid-season because of emails that he sent, and it caused a controversy, and it was emails between him and the general manager of the Washington football team at the time, who I still call the Redskins, who are now the Commanders, who need to go back to the Redskins. I know that was a lot to get into. At the time, Jon's brother Jay was the head coach of Washington. So they look into the emails, they see things that they don't like, and they fire Jon. Jay gets to keep his job. In fact, I think he lasted one more season and then he got fired. However, Jon goes ahead and sues the NFL in Nevada, in New York, and I think in Florida. I think those were the 3 places. I know Nevada. I'm pretty sure it was New York too. Well, yesterday he won the case to sue the NFL and Roger Goodell. I think this is great. And if this brings down Roger Goodell, more power to you, Jon. I've always liked you. I started watching football about 25 years ago, and that was around the time of the Tuck Rule game. So everybody knows football. The Tuck Rule game was against the Patriots and the Raiders when Tom Brady was the quarterback of the Patriots. Jon Gruden was the coach of the Raiders. And the Patriots ended up going on to win the Super Bowl. If you guys don't know, y'all can look it up. It was a great game. Everybody has their own opinion of it. Well, then Jon got traded from the Oakland Raiders to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he went on the next season to win the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against, are y'all ready for this? The team that he went up and played in the Super Bowl was the Oakland Raiders. So it was Tampa versus Oakland, and Tampa won that Super Bowl with Jon as coach. Well, then things happened, and Jon got let go. He was out for a while. And then all of a sudden, Oakland came knocking again. They hire him. He has this controversy. He gets fired. I think they bring in Josh McDaniels. And he's been suing this whole time since 2021. Well, nothing was going on. So I got to thinking, what's going on with the Gruden court case? I thought about that over this past weekend. And then Monday, it comes out that Jon's suit has been upheld by the civil court in Nevada, or the Supreme Court in Nevada, to sue the NFL. So if you guys want to read up more on the controversy, pull up the controversy and read it. I'm not going to get into it because it's just a lot to get into. And there's language in there that I'm not going to say because I know there's kids watching. But look it up. Read up on it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of Jon Gruden. Have you always been a fan of Jon? Have you not? What's the deal? I mean, let's talk about it. So good luck to you, Jon. We'll keep you guys updated on that news as it comes forward. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about Geno Smith. So, as we'll get into in the Week 1 scores, the Las Vegas Raiders had a game against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle last weekend. I'll give you those scores later. I believe Oakland won that game. It was a tie game, but Oakland had a better look in it, so Oakland won that game. And you can do that in the preseason. You can do that and tie, and you can still win the game. Go figure. I don't know. It's some NFL thing. Anyway, Geno was walking off the field, and somebody held up a sign. It was a Seattle fan. Held up a sign that said, Geno Smith is just the new version of Jamarcus Russell. Well, Geno took offense to that and gave an obscene gesture to this fan walking off the field. You guys can kind of think about and know what I'm talking about when I say obscene gesture. I looked up Geno's stats. I thought the man was better than he was, but then I got to thinking, he was good in college. He had 8 touchdowns in one game in college. He played at West Virginia. And then he got drafted to the New York Jets, which is where all his problems started right there. Because he got drafted when the Jets weren't doing good, when the Jets were the laughingstock. And they're still, they still get laughed at from time to time. But, they're trying to change that now. Now that the Aaron Rodgers experiment's gone, just like the Patriots were the laughingstock when the Cam Newton experience was going on, an experiment. But then Geno was backing up Russell Wilson in Seattle for years. I think he went somewhere else and then came back to Seattle. And then has been the starter, was the starter for Seattle for years. And I thought he was going to retire. Well, come to find out, he was going to play at least another year, maybe 2. And Seattle trades him to the Raiders, and Seattle signs Sam Darnold. Go figure. You guys can look back at previous videos and get my thoughts on that. Anyway, now this is Geno's first season with the Raiders. He sees this sign. He gives the guy the obscene gesture. Pete Carroll's okay with it. We'll see how Geno does this season. The first game for the Raiders is against the Patriots in Week 1. We'll see how that goes because the Patriots looked good. Speaking of the Patriots, they unveiled the 12-foot statue of Tom Brady over the weekend. And y'all, I like the statue. His hands up like this, his fist up like, yeah, let's go. And it just encapsulates everything that Tom was. The 6 Super Bowl rings that he won with the Patriots. The 12-foot statue. So it's 6'12". And they've also, up in New England, they've also talked about 6'12", June 12th, 6'12", being Tom Brady Day in New England because of the 6 Super Bowls and his jersey number. So I'm really happy for you, Tom. It's well deserved, and I can't wait to see it someday. I want to go visit Foxborough, Gillette Stadium, take a picture with the statue, and look in the stadium. So, congratulations to you, Tom. Moving on, let's talk about James Cook. He's a star Buffalo Bills player. He is looking for a new contract, but he said he was good. He was not going to hold out. Well, he didn't play in the first game. He didn't practice. He didn't play in the first game against the Giants preseason game. Well, now it's reported that he has come to practice, which I think is great, because how are you going to say you're not going to hold out, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, and then you don't practice and you don't play in the first game? You wait till the second game. And maybe that was a strategy, I don't know. But it's good to see you back, James. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about CeeDee Lamb and the incident that happened with him during the Rams game over the weekend. So CeeDee Lamb did not play. He didn't. And that's okay. He's a star receiver. You know, hold him out for week one. Now, I know last week I said Dak needed to play, but that's because he hadn't played since halfway through last season. He's had time to rest that and recover that hamstring, and he needs to get out there and get more comfortable with the play again. Well, over the weekend, CeeDee Lamb was on the sidelines. They were playing in SoFi Stadium in L.A., and they were playing the Rams. And CD was on the sidelines, and he was running down he was all excited about a play that a rookie with Dallas was doing. I think it was like a 40-yard touchdown. And he was down by the goal line, and he's up there, and his hands are up, and he's cheering him on. And the official's looking at the field. Well, CD's back is to the official. He doesn't notice this. The official slams right into the back of CeeDee Lamb and knocks him down. Now, here's where the controversy starts. CeeDee Lamb was penalized. So, was CeeDee Lamb on the white portion of the field? He wasn't on the field. He was on the white portion of the field because he knew he couldn't play. He's smart enough to know he couldn't play and be out on the field, but he could have been on the white part where the official should have looked up, seen him, and adjusted. Instead, he runs right into the back of CeeDee Lamb, knocks him down, and penalizes CD, which more than likely took away that great play that rookie did, all because the officials now are out to get Dallas, it sounds like. And it really doesn't matter because the NFL's out, the officials are out to get a lot of people anyway. And the officials are really out there to make the cheating Chiefs look good. And maybe that'll happen this coming season. Who knows? I kind of hope it doesn't, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on, we're going to talk about the New York Yankees. Now, this I think is funny. I don't do a lot of baseball. But people that know me know that I am not a New York Yankees fan. Never have been, never will be. I'm sorry if you are. The Yankees to me are like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sorry if you're a fan. You endure so much crap and you get nothing for it. Pittsburgh Steelers have Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Your season's not going to be good. Every prediction I've seen says the Steelers are going to win 10 games. That's not going to happen. Anyway, I got a little sidetracked. The Yankees in baseball are looking like the New Orleans Saints did back in the 80s. They're not doing so good this season. In fact, they haven't been for the past several seasons. They made it to the World Series and lost, but they did it because the Yankees weren't in the World Series or in the playoff contention for a long time, and they felt sorry for them. So the Yankees are kind of like the Chiefs in that front. Anyway, it's reported that Yankee fans are bringing brown paper bags and putting them over their heads this season because the Yankees are doing so bad. How funny is that? If y'all remember, some of y'all that watch this can remember the New Orleans Saints, and they were called the Aints. Well, apparently that's what the Yankees are doing now. Putting the bags over their heads, and they're the Yanks now. Yankee, Aints, Yanks. Yeah. I'm actually happy to see it. I'm a Cardinal fan, I'm a Red Sox fan, and I like the Atlanta Braves. And people that know that if you're a Red Sox fan, you can't be a Yankees fan. I never have been a Yankees fan, never will be. Keep it up, Yankees. You can keep those brown paper bags and we'll keep winning, and you guys can keep losing. Moving on, we're going to talk about the UFC. And the UFC is moving to CBS in 2026 in a deal worth $7.7 billion. Now, we talked about this. We're going to talk about this, and I think this is great. UFC is coming out, branching out. MMA is going out to the masses now, so people can see more of these fights instead of just ESPN people or just getting the pay-per-views. So when we talk about UFC 103 or UFC 10 or 20 or 30, whatever it is in 2026, hopefully y'all will be able to see it on CBS. So thank you, Dana White. And this comes after last week's merger with ESPN and NFL Network. ESPN bought NFL Network for an outrageous amount of money. And that brings, whole new life to the struggling NFL Network, they said. So we'll see how that goes. I think the UFC deal is better than ESPN buying NFL Network, but we'll, cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the NFL preseason Week 1 scores, and we're going to breeze through these. The Ravens defeated the Colts 24-16. The Eagles defeated the Bengals 34-27. As I said earlier, the Raiders and Seahawks tied at 23, but they said the Raiders won, and then Geno goes off and does that obscene gesture to the Seattle fan. All that was on Thursday. On Friday, we had the Lions defeat the Falcons 17-10. Now that was interesting, and I should have talked more about this. That game was actually they never finished that game because a Detroit Lions fan had a serious neck injury and was carted to the hospital in an ambulance during that game. So they canceled the rest of the game with 6 minutes and 18 seconds left in the game. Now, what both teams did, I thought was absolutely phenomenal. The player got hurt, and immediately both teams dropped to their knee and hoped he was okay, prayed he was okay. After he was tended to and taken off in the ambulance, both teams came out and they were going to let the clock run out. They were going to just stay out in the middle of the field, let the last 6 minutes and 18 seconds run out, because you never want to see something that bad. That's like Damar Hamlin, going down a few seasons ago with his heart attack, and they never finished that game. And I had my thoughts on that game, and y'all can go back and look at that video and see what that was. But luckily, that player for the Lions, he's got movement in his hands, his feet, he's breathing, everything's fine, last I heard. But I commend both teams for doing what y'all did, because y'all could have finished the rest of the game and you didn't. Raheem Morris said, nope, we're done. Call the game, and Lions won that game. In Shadir Sanders' debut, the Browns defeated the Panthers 30-10. And on Tom Brady's statue night, the Patriots defeated the Commanders 48-18. Drake May looked good, y'all. I think Drake May might be our answer with the Patriots. And he went up against a hard-fought Commanders team. Although this is second and third stringers, but still. On Saturday, we had the Giants defeat the Bills 34-15. We had the Vikings defeat the Texans 20-10. We had the Rams defeat the Cowboys 31-21. We talked about that controversy. Steelers defeated the Jags 31-25. Bucks defeated the Titans 29-7. Jets defeated Packers 30-10. And on a note there, Packers quarterback Jordan Love is going in to have surgery on his finger. Should be ready for week 1. But all you fantasy players out there who have Jordan Love as y'all's fantasy quarterback, keep an eye out. If he plays, who knows? But I'll keep you guys noted. There's still a few weeks before regular season starts, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. But he should be ready for regular season. The Cardinals defeat the Chiefs 20-10. Even though it's still preseason, I think it's great the Chiefs lost. And the Broncos defeated the 49ers 30-9. All that was on Saturday. On Sunday, we had a tie between the Dolphins and the Bears. We're going to say the Dolphins won that game. And that was Ben Johnson's first game as the Bears head coach. And the Chargers defeated the Saints 27-13. So now moving on to some Week 2 predictions for preseason. On Friday, we have the Titans and the Falcons. I'm actually picking the Titans in that game. The Chiefs, Seahawks. As much as I hate to do it, I'm picking the Seahawks in that game. Because I don't like Darnold being with the Seahawks, and I can't stand the cheating Chiefs. So I'm actually going to go Seahawks in that one, but that's rare. On Saturday, we have the Dolphins at the Lions. I'm picking the Lions. Packers, Colts. I'm picking the Packers. Oh, and a note that during that Colts game last week, Mr. Tired, Anthony Richardson, hurt his finger. So he was out for the rest of that game and should be ready for start of preseason. But I think they're going to keep him out the rest of – he should be ready for the Week 1 regular season. They're going to keep him out of the rest of preseason, which is only like this week and next week, but who knows. He's tired. If you're tired, get some rest for the regular season there, Richardson, because I don't think that coach is going to look at you and go, you know what, just go sit down. Yeah, I would say that. I'd say just go sit down. We got a new starting quarterback, even though y'all's backup is Daniel Jones. Go figure. Moving on, Patriots at Vikings. I'm picking the Patriots, obviously. Again, this is preseason. Browns at Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles. Panthers at Texans. I'm picking the Texans. Niners, Raiders. I'm picking the Raiders. Ravens, Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Ravens in that game. Chargers, Rams. Battle of L.A. I'm going to pick the Chargers in that game. Jets, Giants. Battle of New York. I don't like either team, but I'm going to pick the Giants in that game. Bucks, Steelers. Bucks. Cardinals, Broncos. I'm picking the Broncos. And then on Sunday, we have the Jaguars at the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. And then the Bills and the Bears. I'm picking the Bills. So, who's y'all's predictions for Week 2? Drop in the comments. Y'all have heard the games. If y'all need to, look them up. Let's hear y'all's predictions. Let's see what's going on. So now we're going to move on to something I'm pretty excited about. I'm going to tell you guys my top 5 NFL quarterbacks to start the 2025 season. Now, this came because Dan Orlovsky did his top 5 the other day. I looked at it. He had players on there. He didn't have Mahomes on there, and I don't have Mahomes in my top 5. But he did his top 10. He didn't have Mahomes. He didn't have Jalen Hurts. He didn't have a lot of the players on there. But he had people like Geno Smith and Dak Prescott in there. And I'm holding Dak out of my top 5 just because I need to see how he does this season. To start the season, he's coming off an injury. Let's see how he does. But right now, here's my top 5. At number 1, I've got Josh Allen. At number 2, I've got Lamar Jackson. At number 3, I've got Joe Burrow. 4 Jalen Hurts, and 5 C.J. Stroud. Now, that's an interesting lineup. I know you guys are like, well, why did you pick who you picked? Well, Josh is coming off his MVP year. Can he continue that MVP year? Lamar is in the MVP hunt every year. He's got Derrick Henry. He's got all these other players that he can, throw to. He's got Harbaugh at coach. He's consistently good, just like Josh Allen. I feel like Joe Burrow is going to have a bounce back year this year. I see the Bengals doing good. And I've always been a fan of Mr. Burrow, Joe Burrow, Mr. Cool. Jalen Hurts. I've got him in there because he's coming off his Super Bowl win. And yes, I could have put Jalen before Joe, but I think Joe's got more to prove. I think Jalen been to the Super Bowl twice. He's proven what he can do, but he just needs to continue that constant, consistency of being good. Don't be good 1 week, off the next. Good 1 week, off the next. Stay consistent, Jalen. And then I've got C.J. Stroud in there. And I'm putting that fifth one I had a lot of trouble with. But C.J. Stroud entering his third year, he's made it to the playoffs both years he's been in the league. He can do it a third time. He's got the weapons. He's got the coach. He's got the defense. He's got the offense. He's got what it takes to make him successful. And maybe next year, maybe I'll do this again midway through the season and do my second half starters. We'll see. But right now, those are my starters. Those are my top 5 to start the season. Moving on to the golf, we had the FedEx Jude Championship. We had Justin Rhodes win at 16 under. J.J. Spawn came in second at 16 under. And I know that sounds weird. They weren't tied for first, but you can't have a tied for first. Justin Rose did better on the playoff holes, so he won. J.J. Spawn came in second, and then Scotty Scheffler tied for third at 15 under. Scotty's staying up there, and I'm happy about it. So I don't have any music news to report on, so let's move into the who we're listening to. And y'all, this is a new group I've never talked about. We're going to talk about a group called From Ashes to New. They're a new metal band out of Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. They formed in 2013. I found out about them in 2016, and I just happened on it because I was listening to the new metal channel on Pandora or on iHeartRadio, and I heard this group that sounded had this rock rap group sound a lot like Linkin Park did, And I thought, God, this is good. This sounds good. They've got a good sound. And I already love Linkin Park. So I thought, let me take a look into... So I was laying there with my glasses off, eyes closed, just enjoying the music. And they made me put my glasses on and look up, and I was like, wow, this is a good group. So I found out about them in 2016. Their debut album was called Day One. They've had 5 studio albums, 30 singles, 26 music videos. I'm going to say my favorite one is the debut album. So I need you guys to go out, listen to that. Let me know what you guys think. In fact, I think all their music sounds pretty good. So if you guys want to listen to more From Ashes to New and let me know what songs y'all like and what albums y'all like from them, let me know. But I'm going to say start with the debut and go from there because the debuts are always the best ones. And as always, drop in the comments who you guys are listening to, what genre, what artists, what groups y'all are liking. And you never know, it might pop up on who we're listening to. And drop y'all's predictions for preseason week 2. In fact, starting week 1 of the regular season, I want everybody to drop y'all's predictions for week 1. And we'll get into that in a couple weeks. But I'm giving you guys a heads up. I want us to do that. I want us to predict these games together and see how we do. But I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the week, a good weekend, and we will be back next week to go the distance. Thank you guys, and God bless.